Hey everybody, Dylan over here at the Caden Academy, and I'm shooting another quick video for you guys because another thing came to mind. I was having a conversation with my son, who at the time of this video is actually 10. So he's getting to that age where, he's running into different types of people and different types of friends and different types of personalities. And this is a conversation not just for a 10-year-old, but for adults as well. And I'm reminded of it and I'm sharing it with you guys here as well. So hopefully it reminds you. But I remember a story, something along the lines of there was an eagle that had fallen from its nest and it ended up falling into a chicken pen. And you can only imagine what happened with that eagle. That eagle grew up and was raised by the chickens. And so it spent its entire life, though it was born an eagle, it spent its entire life thinking that it was a chicken, pecking around on the ground, eating all types of things that chicken eats, never being able to fly. Um, and kind of the moral and the point of that story is, and what I want to share with you all here in this video is, you become who you surround yourself with most often. You are, fortunately or unfortunately, a product of your environment. And that's why it's so difficult sometimes for people to kind of break free of cycles of poverty, cycles of abuse, cycles of negativity, because all of us don't get to necessarily choose, not necessarily, we really don't get to choose where we're born and how we grow up. But as you get older, you can choose and become aware of the people that you're spending the most time with. And what generally happens, and we say this in business, and you've heard me say this before in some of my videos, is that if you want to be a millionaire, start to hang around millionaires. If you want to make six figures, start hanging around people that make six figures. If you want to be a doctor, start hanging around doctors. You want to be an engineer, start hanging around engineers. And what happens is you become like the people who you spend the most time with. And Dylan, that sounds great. We've heard that before, but what's the point? Well, the point is, if you're spending a lot of time with people who are negative, you are going to be negative. If you're spending time with people who constantly believe the world is out to get them, you're going to have and adopt some of those beliefs that the world is out to get you. This goes for everything in your life. If you're around people that are always optimistic, you're going to be an optimistic person. If you're around people that believe that they're lucky, you'll be lucky. If you're around people that believe that you're unlucky, you'll be unlucky. And it goes on and on and on and on. And this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that you have to be very, very careful with what types of people you allow into your space. Now, you're not going to be able to avoid all human beings on earth and just say, I want to hang out with this group of people only, but you can limit your time. So if you're around people that are negative all the time, become aware of that and how it's impacting you. And are you exhibiting signs of negativity, anxiety, fear, depression? Are you, whatever it is that you want to change in your life, you can limit the amount of time that you're spending in situations, in cultures, with people that are not lifting you up or not taking you where you want to be. And, I remember growing up, the neighborhood in which I grew up in was, kind of a middle class community for most of my time growing up. But then it got very, very bad. It got to be very, I don't know the best way to describe it, toxic, um, environments which just were not safe. Um, it's hard to describe, but it turned into an environment that wasn't good. And I ended up often coming home feeling like, man, I'm in this kind of nasty, nasty place. And the advantage that I had is I was aware of that, right? I didn't allow myself to be consumed with that. And I worked hard to get myself out of that environment, to move away from that environment, to move away from that space. And I've done that all throughout my career with business. If I've got employees or even students or clients or people that are are bringing me down or are toxic, I'm making every effort to either fire that client, fire that business partner, move into a different scenario. I mean, sometimes you just have to do that. So if you don't like where you're at right now, if you don't like your personality, like me growing up, I was very angry all the time. And I was a product of my environment. And then I grew out of that. I was aware of that. I grew out of that. I made a lot of effort to do what I'm telling you guys here, to switch, to just kind of get up, move, put yourself around positive people, put yourself around optimistic people, put yourself around people that are trying to lift you up. Put yourself in situations where you can accomplish and go after your dreams. Life doesn't have to be, a challenge. Life doesn't have to be miserable. It's only miserable because you allow it to be. It's only miserable because of the mindset that you have about it as well, too. And so all that to say, just be very, very careful about who you're surrounding yourself with, right? In your inner circle, because you will be a product of who you spend most of your time with. So hopefully that makes sense for you all. Hopefully I'm not just repeating myself over and over, but, let it just be a reminder. Let it be a reminder that maybe you need to do a check with who you are spending your days with, who you're spending your time with. Is it coworkers that are bringing you down? Maybe you need to limit your time and exposure to them. Is it spouses? Is it friends and family? Sometimes family can be, your biggest challenge. And not saying that you need to disown your family, but you can limit your time with people that are not acting how you want them to act. Okay. So anyways, for what it's worth, I just wanted to share that with everybody. Hopefully it's a good reminder for all of you. Be so careful who you give your time to, your mental space to. Many of you that follow me in this channel and in our newsletter and on social media, you're trying to break free of these cycles. You're trying to put yourself in a positive state. You're trying to put yourself in an optimistic state so that you can begin to attract to you more positivity, more good fortune, more good luck, more negativity. And more positivity, less negativity. You can't begin to make these changes in your life and see these changes come to fruition if you're continually trapped amongst people and energies and frequencies and cultures and whatever it is that you're doing that are bringing you down in that capacity. So if you're following me to lift yourself up, to better your life, to improve your life, then you've really got to pay attention to who you're spending the most amount of time with. And that's what I want to say. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you go to cadenacademy.com if you haven't already. Join our 7-day productivity challenge. The reason why I say that is because when you join that challenge, you also join our newsletter. And every 5 to 7 days, you're going to get awesome productivity, mindset, tips and tricks and videos and thoughts, you name it. I put a lot of energy into making that valuable to those who are involved in it. So if you haven't already, go to cadenacademy.com, subscribe to our newsletter. You do that by joining the 7-day productivity challenge, and stay tuned. Comment below if there's some changes that you need to make in your life, if there's some people in your life that you need to limit your exposure to and how you're going to do that. I'm happy to help as well. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.